Hi, I'm Gordon Pilcher, and we're going to have a quick look at OTS schedules. Right here I have a schedule that would run perfectly for a 24-hour period. That is not the one I'm using currently. Excuse me. The one I'm using currently is up in here. Well, I've actually got it saved here as a text document. Why I'm going to show it to you here, it's a little bit easier probably to see it. We'll just pop this up full screen. What it does, it ejects and clears at 8:55 AM. Then at 8:57 AM it turns the AVDJ on. 9 o'clock, prior to 9 o'clock, it actually comes out of here and it triggers this. It loads the playlist OTS-FM, and then at 9 o'clock it will trigger the program to start, and the program runs fine, keeps working. Every hour it creates another playlist. At 3 minutes past the hour, and then we go right up till, instead of doing that at 11 AM on a weekday, it will do this schedule here. Now I can show you that schedule. It is sitting here. That's it there. We'll open it, and I'll just run it. And that's what would come on, but because of the fact that it's now 12:41 PM, it's too late for it to trigger. So it would actually try to trigger it at 11 o'clock. Now, how I could force that to do that, if I went into here and I changed that wildcard to 12 o'clock, and I'll just show you what would happen. It would start right on 12 o'clock every day. But I didn't make it for what it, I chose not to have it hour specific for no particular reason. And I could easily put it back to a wildcard, it would still function. The advantage of leaving it as a wildcard, like so, right, is that if I do it again, it will trigger the... Now I can use that schedule there, and say, let's have a quick look, and say I wanted it on a, I'm going to show you something here. There we go, we'll get it. So I wanted it on a Monday. Let's just copy that. It's going to let me copy. It's not going to let me copy. Anyway, let's just go over to here. M-O-N, I think that's the way it works. Just let me double check that. It's capital M, yep. Hyphen. What time could I set it to? I would actually set it to 1703. Then I could copy the rest of that out of there and just place it. I'm actually a big fan of copy and pasting rather than typing if I can get away with it, because it just makes life a little bit simpler. You don't make spelling mistakes. So that template would actually operate. Actually, I might change it to Tuesday for no particular reason. It just so happens today is a Tuesday, and I could leave that in there. And that would play that hour at 6 p.m. because it's loaded it an hour in advance, right? 1 hour in advance, like we did here. So at 6 p.m. it would play that hour. Then it would revert back to the wildcards after. Once it's cleared that done that hour, it would actually revert back to playing that. And unfortunately, it's quite difficult. I can tell you this, but if I copy this in here, OTS will tell me whether it's a legitimate. It'll either come up with an error. I'll just clear that a minute. I'll paste that. I'll tell it to apply. Now, if in the process of applying there's an error, I just want to have a look at the current. So it's at weekdays at 11, Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. It triggers that. It triggers it at 17. But it actually plays it because the way I've got the because of the particular way I will write a playlist. So it's all about automating everything. Now you don't have. I think what has. I've seen which to me just seems a little bit redundant people doing. And I'll scroll down here, particularly in some of the videos. I'll just clear that. If you want to just clear anything, just hit the delete key. They'll search through here. I'll show you how to make a playlist. Okay, just hypothetically, I don't want to listen to those in my playlist, and I possibly wouldn't want to listen to a 1950s song in the middle of the day. But if I made it, say, every fourth song was a new. Not a regular, I went to click new wave. You just watch this. This is an 8-hour schedule, right? There. I can change that to 24. I could have been a bit more specific with stuff in there too, and I wasn't. I just sort of generating a 24-hour playlist takes a wee while because obviously it's searching through 1,200, 2,000 odd video clips. So the first song that came up there was a country. I know that she's definitely country. Okay, we've got 24 hours of playlist, but the issue here is that if you're wanting to run 24 hours, you got to get up at the same time every day, click that, and redo it. All set. If you don't want to hear them in the same 24-hour period, well, you want to skip it. You say, okay, I want to hear songs I didn't hear yesterday, but you better have a pretty big playlist if you're going to do that. You're putting a lot more load on your criteria. Let's just say we leave out the 50s. And you may spot that I've got a few, oh no, do it after 2 or 3 days doing that, you're going to end up with placeholders. I mean, why it's a bit restrictive here, because when you, like in my case, I'm running on this particular unit. I also have OTS radio on another computer, which has got a lot more music in it. Probably getting closer to, you know, the 15,000 tracks. But video clips are a lot harder to come by, so you know, they're just, you tend not to have it as many. So it's always a little bit awkward. And the thing is, with that, what I just showed you, if you leave it go more than the 24 hours, this particular playlist will just recycle at exactly the same time. But if you're more specific, with this, it will look to see what's been played. You can actually set a lot better criteria. And you can have playlists specific to your requirement, like we were saying here. Like that 60s and 70s hour. I'll just quickly give you an idea what, no, I don't want that, what I'd expect it to look like. So I've got a full hour there of that. When you consider in the 60s there's 290 individual video clips, in the 70s there's 435, a lot easier to find those. The cool part about it is that I love when OTS did this, they started adding this here down the side here, where you can tell how long it is since a track was played. Because in the old days we used to have to click on here and we'd look here to see. It was last played on the 4th of September 11:46. And you've also got this in here, what have I played in the last 12 hours? And it says gig. (24 hours). And the last 24 hours it would have played 55 individual video clips. Yeah, if you want to do it, you know, 36 hours, you can go to 36. For goodness sake, don't hit the delete key when you're doing this. Days. And now you can sort of see what's happening with you. But this is really not to do with the so much with the schedule, but it all relates back to the schedule. If you're writing your playlists carefully, it's a lot hard to see that in that little box. This one here. You can actually just make your playlist a little bit more specific, but you can actually then, I have found through experimenting, not on this machine but on the other one over the other side there, that I can have the time and I can have intros and outros, which is like proper radio automation. And I'm not going to go into that here, because otherwise tends to drag these videos out too long. I just basically wanted to show you that this here is pretty simple. And if you've got a licensed version, you should be able to do all this. So that's basically it. And I'm going to leave you go at that one. You can now experiment with your schedules. You've got a tutorial on creating playlists, and now it's basically all it's up to is your imagination. Okay, that's it from me for now.